Bonjour, je suis Kat et je joue au rouge. Okay, I haven't done any French for 30 years. That wasn't bad. So today we're looking at Paris, designed by Kramer and Kiesling and produced by Game Brewer. This will launch on Kickstarter on March the 16th. We've got a prototype here we're looking at ahead of launch. After the World Fair in 1889, topped by the construction of the Eiffel Tower and celebrating the centennial of the storming of the Bastille, Paris goes through a transformation period, with loads of new buildings being built in all sorts of styles. In Paris, you take on the role of wealthy real estate investors in Paris in the early 1900s. In their turn, players must perform two actions. The first thing they do is choose one of the buildings from the available tiles. You can see the regions that they're based in, but not what the buildings actually are. So let's pick this tile and I must place it on that region on the board. So number 3 for La Villette. So I place that on the board there. After placing a building on the board, you can perform one of 3 actions. So the first is to place a key. You can either place this key on the Arc de Triomphe or place it in one of the banks in the regions on the board. So if I were to place this key here at La Villette, I'd receive 2 francs from the bank, which go behind my screen. The second action you can perform is to move a key to acquire a building. So if I were to move my key from the bank here, I can place it onto any of the buildings in this region. I have to pay the cost of the building as shown in francs. So let's place it on the bakery here. This will cost me 2 francs, which I pay to the bank. However, I get a few bonuses for this. I get to take this token here, which goes behind my screen. And also, as shown on the tiles here, if I place on a 1 or 2 building, I can move around the bonus track, which is around the outside of the board. So, I can move my marker any number of spaces around the track and take the tile which will give me the bonus shown. So I could choose to go here, take this tile, I pop it face down and I can use that at any point in the game. Obviously this tile shown will give me 4 francs when I need it. You can also move keys to other buildings in the same region. So going back to my little bakery here, I could choose to move this over here, in which case I'd only pay the difference between the 2 buildings. So that would cost me 2 francs to the bank and I'd get this wood resource token, which again goes behind my screen. If you move from the Arc de Triomphe, you're not limited to the region you can place in. However, you can only ever place from the banks into that region, and you can only ever place higher than you were before. So in this case, I couldn't drop back down to the 3 or the 2. I'd have to wait for the 5 and the 8 to come out. The third action is to take one of these endgame tiles. This only actually becomes an option when all the buildings have been placed on the board. So we'll talk about those a bit later on. The other sort of building available are these landmark tiles. Instead of placing on a building, you can instead build and place on a landmark. So the costs on these are much higher, so money is very important in this game. This also explains why you need the resources. Here it shows you what you need to build the landmark. So if I wanted to build this landmark, I would need to pay this resource to the bank, and I place it here I can move my key to it and it will cost me the difference between the value of the buildings. So in this case that would be 5. This is where that tile from earlier comes in handy, because there's 4 and 1 makes 5. Now I can trade in these tokens for points. So I can trade in bronze tokens for 3 points each. At the moment I only have 2 bronze tokens, but I traded those in for 3 points each, giving me a total of 6 points, which is marked on the victory point track here, which goes around the top of the bonus tiles. You can have multiple landmarks on the same spot, but you always need to pay the cost in resources and gold as shown on the tile. So at a later stage of the game I could decide to pop that there, pay 1, move up and trade in silver and bronze tokens for points. Play continues with each player placing a building and manipulating their keys until the board looks something a little like this. Each of the areas fills up. At the start of the game, 3 tiles are taken out at random. Now, when there are 4 buildings occupied in an area, these victory point tiles come out. These are for endgame scoring and are really important. Each region with one of these tiles will score an area majority for the end of the game. So in this case, at the end of the game, red would score 18 points, blue would score 9, and black would score 4 points. The bonus tiles around the edge of the board really give you what you need to do what you want to do. At the start of the game, they're pretty simple and just singular resources or money. However, as they go high around the board, they get more powerful. Here you have the opportunity to receive extra keys. The money gets higher. If you remember, that one near the start was 4 francs. This one is 5. So there is a constant decision about whether or not you want to race ahead and get some of these more powerful tiles, or potter along at the back on your own, picking up as many as you can. Some of these here will give you points. This allows you to move backwards. These tiles allow you to score for each of the 5 or 8 buildings you're on. This one gives you points for landmarks you're on, and at 8 points a go, this is pretty powerful. So there's a constant balance between how far you want to go around the board and whether or not you want to try to get to things before the other players do. Once all the buildings are placed onto the board, instead of placing buildings, players now take these endgame tiles. Remember them from earlier? So instead of taking an action on the board, players can instead take one of these, take the benefit on it, and end their turn. Towards the end of the game, you'll be wanting to move out to the landmarks from the buildings, which require resources and extra cash, and that's where these final game bonuses come in really handy. These very nifty player screens not only hide your resources from other players, but also give you quite a bit of information. So at any point in the game, you can buy or sell your resources for the amount shown. You can also sell your prestige tokens for coins rather than using them for the victory points at the landmarks. When the last of these endgame tiles is taken by a player, you'll play to the end of the round and then have 1 extra round before the game ends. So anything with yellow is scored during the game, which is the bulk of things here. Once the game's finished, you'll score the area majority bonuses on any areas with these tiles. And in fact, there's 1 bonus tile here that will give you 1 point for each franc you have at the end of the game. And that's it for final scoring. The player with the most points is the winner. In essence, Paris is quite a simple little game. The actions themselves, there's not much to them. However, there's this constant battle with the buildings because you need to get the landmarks in order to score points. However, you need the resources to do that, which means going on the higher buildings. But then you want the lower buildings because you want to move around the track and get these bonus tiles. It's a constant battle of where and when to go. Also, other people blocking, you can't put your key where someone else is. So this area is pretty chock-a-block for me. I could go to the 3 or the 5, but that would be it, as all the other spaces are occupied. However, with this many players here, it's quite likely they'll jump to another building and take that bonus before I get a chance to do it. So it's a case of going for what you want at the given time. As I said earlier, Paris will launch on Kickstarter on the 16th of March. As soon as the link's available, we'll put it in the comments below. Hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you enjoyed Paris. See you soon. Thanks. Bye.